Okay, looks like we're live again. So, welcome back if you're watching this. Time to get back to working on shields. Oh, actually, I'm going to write that into the description here. Alright, so the reason I'm re-implementing shields is instead of just implementing shields is because technically there is functionality for blocking attacks. I'm just not very happy with how it works. And I want it to be a bit more directly related to the shield collider. So the way that the old one worked is that if the player is like holding the block button, then any attack that like hits them at a certain angle is blocked. But I want that to be actually related to the shield collider instead of just the angle of the angle of the attack. So yeah, let's get to work. Probably gonna encounter leftover code from like the old system. Oh yeah, one thing I should probably recap that I did. Yesterday I only streamed for about 15 minutes, but I actually did another thing like a few hours afterwards that I didn't stream because it was off schedule. I corrected the position of the of the handheld items in the right hand. It's so that the position and angle are more accurately reflected by the what am I trying to say? Trying to make it so that it actually looks at the players holding the item instead of just floating relatively close to the hand. It was caused by a problem with the animation. Something about the so something about the position and angle of the bones, and also technically selecting the wrong bone here. But now it is on a held item R, which is the position that all held items should be at. Technically, it's a little bit off still, but it is corrected in such a way that it should be accurate in most situations. Okay, so shields. I believe that one thing I'm going to try to do to make it easier to see the shield is I'm going to apply a different mesh to it. What? Why is it invisible? Oh, that's why. That was dumb. That was incredibly obvious too. Okay. Now it is visible on both sides. Let's shift it over a little bit to be on the forearm. Let's duplicate this and copy it and attach it to here as well. Okay. And another thing is I think it's going to need some sort of collider. Yes, that makes sense. So I'm going to add, uh, actually, what kind of node should I use for this? I'm not exactly sure. I know I shouldn't use a static body. Kinematic body is probably wrong too. Maybe an area node? Huh. Yeah. Huh. Sorry about that. Collision object. Hmm. Maybe a Google search will help. Actually, if anyone's in, nope, no one's in chat yet. No one is watching the stream. That's fine. Just means I gotta use Google. Oh, actually, what am I doing? I'll just use an area. It'll work. I think it'll work. Yes, I'm already using areas for the main, the attack, damage, and body colliders. That so like not for locomotion, like not for character locomotion, but for like a. You see these little cylinders that are like kind of over here and here. It's a little bit of, can't see them over here because it's a bit of a mess. But here's one for the hips. And there's an it's an upper body one here too, I think. Yeah. So I'll just use that for the shield. Oh, and now you can see some of the some of the node information that I use for these body colliders. So these this is uh, basically a filter that determines what a body collider is vulnerable to, and all of them are checked. Physical, fire, explosion, poison, acid, ice, electricity. Most of these are not implemented, they're just kind of there as placeholders. But yeah, I think that my shield system is going to be an extension of the body collider class that I made. So it is an extension of it is a type of area. So that's why I'm picking area. I think it's fairly old, but it's been recently edited, so it's got my more up-to-date coding skills on display. At least I think it does. Oh, this is definitely an old part. I might still use this. This is basically a what is this? Oh, right. So if it's this makes it so that if the body collider is touching a continuous damage or a damage collider that does damage continuously, then it should do like a certain amount of damage every frame. Should probably make sure. I should probably actually make sure that it's like, so yeah, I should probably make it so that it's uses takes delta time into consideration, because I don't want it to do more damage at higher frame rates and less damage at lower frame rates. Okay, enough stalling. So is what should I call this class? Actually, part of me is wondering if I should even make a separate class for it. Actually, yeah, I should. Shield Collider. Yes. And I think to make this a bit easier on myself, I am also going to try making it an extension of this. I'm not really sure if that's I'm not 100% sure if it's the best idea to make this to make Shield Collider an extension of Body Collider. But right now I think that it is. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of functionality in here that I want to carry over to the shield. The only real difference between the Body Collider and the Shield Collider will be that when it hits the shield, it won't transfer to the health system, or it won't like transfer the damage it takes over to the health system, which controls like the hit points of the entity or the the player or whatever. Let's take it out. Okay, let's start with that. Actually, on second thought, I'm going to try something else. Pretty sure this should be public. And shield. So this is basically code for when the body collider overlaps their damage collider. When that happens, it checks to make sure that if the master health controller for the okay, so body colliders and damage colliders both have a master health system, which basically helps differentiate between different with whether differentiate between whether this is the well, it's the system that controls health. But if they're the same, if both of them have the same, then nothing, then it'll return. Nothing will happen because I don't want the player to be able to damage himself or anything to be able to damage themselves, even if their body collider and damage colliders overlap. It should just return. Next, it checks to see if the damage is valid. And it does this using something so it's something that's actually I did have to do a little bit of research for, but it is basically a it is basically a I forgot the term for it, but so this is an enum, right? Well, actually, no, it's not an enum. It's a integer, but it's like it's exposed as a series of binaries, and each or booleans, and each but instead of being individual booleans, it's like it's an integer made out of multiple ones. So it's a 30 since it's a 32-bit int, I think. Yes, int 32. That means it can hold up to 32 different 32 different bits. And these are the flags. What this does is it checks to see what valid damage does. So it checks to see if the damage type is is checked, or it checks to make sure that the damage type of the oh yeah, so this is an enum. It is Yeah, it's set up using powers of 2, which makes it which basically assigns it to different bits in the integer. And the system interprets those as flags or individual booleans within the integer, and this is one of those. And if this on the damage collider happens to be one of these that are checked over over here, then the damage is valid. Like let's say I want this to only be vulnerable to physical damage and immune to everything else, or fire damage. If the damager, well, let's see if I can find a damager node. Here's one. So damage type, it is one of these types. Let's say it is physical attack, and I hit something that is only vulnerable to oh crap, where is it? Lost it. Ah, here it is. So the shield, let's say the damage type is physical, but if this is only vulnerable to fire, then it is not valid damage. Now it is, but if it is checked, then it passes and it can move on to the next step. This is for the continuous damage system. Like if I want it to damage over time, then it sets this variable to the damager. And then this will continuously do damage until exiting the continuous damager. Next, I'm going to check and see if this body collider is a shield. If it is, it'll return and do nothing. I'll probably add some more. Actually, let's add some more functionality here, or at least prepare to add more functionality. If it's a shield, it returns and counts it as blocked. If it goes through all this without being returned, then it goes to the master health system and says receive the amount of damage on the damage collider, and pass in the knockback vector from the damage collider, and then emit signal on hit. And then I could basically use the Godot signal system to add additional functions to, or additional functionality to that. This is basically the same thing, but for bullet scan, which is kind of the same thing, but instead of using areas, it's for raycasts. So I want to use like a raycast system for doing damage. Alternatively, I can do that. It'll be perfectly compatible. And it's mostly copied over. Technically, I probably could have found a different way to copy over functionality, but I don't feel like it. Not right now. Okay, so the problem with this system right now is that the attack, when it hits the shield, it'll return here, but there are other body colliders on the on the player model, so it'll technically block it, but then it'll pass through and hit the other colliders, and then it'll still do damage. So I want to do something to prevent that from happening. Question is, how do I do that? What I need to do is find a way to get the shield to interrupt the attack when the attack collides with the shield. So around here, that is probably where I need to implement that. Okay. I'm still thinking of how to do that. That's kind of why I'm stalling right now. Apparently 3 people have clicked on this and then clicked off. All right then. Okay, how am I gonna do this? I could interrupt the animation with like a knockback animation or like an attack interrupt animation, but I don't want to have to make like that kind of animation for every single enemy. So I think I could probably make that possible. Oh, wait, what? Locked. Oh, okay. So this was for some reason I called this blocked, but I think I wrote this so that if you like attack a wall, it'll bounce off and play like a ding sound or a metallic sort of clang sound when I could probably use this. If is shield damage collider signal locked. Okay, I think that's a good start, but I don't want to rely on this signal delegation. I want to do a little bit more. What I could do is I can make it so that upon being blocked, it like temporarily disables the damage collider. Problem is that I need to be able to re-enable it when the player attacks the next time, and I don't want to have to do that or figure out how to do that. I guess I don't really have a choice, but I'm trying to think of alternative ways to do this. DMG collider, emit signal blocked. Can't think of any other ways to do it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have I'm just gonna have a variable on here that basically that like temporarily enables or disables the thing the damage collider when it's been blocked. Just call it. The only thing that should be able to, it's private so that I could only manipulate it through here. Black equals true. Bool is not. Only thing is, I need to be able to I need to be able to re-enable this, or unblock it basically. You know, turn it back to false. What should I call this? Okay, so what I'm trying to make a method that basically unblocks it. It should be easy. You know, it's very easy to do. I'm just not sure what to call it. I don't want to call it unblock, because I feel like I wouldn't remember that in the future. It'd be attack. This could be misleading though. Maybe I'll just do unblock. The problem with this approach is that I have to add a keyframe to each attack animation that runs this. Or maybe. So the attack animations already dynamically enable and disable the collision shape that is its child. Or yeah, it automatically toggles this. And that's like baked into the animation. So maybe what I can do is this is kind of a finicky solution, but maybe what I can do is I can check to see if it was just enabled, and if it was just enabled, then I'll unblock it. I'll try that. And see if it works. Do I already have a physics process? No, I don't. Okay. So I need to get this node, basically. What's the best way to get the collision shapes? as an area. I'm just gonna Google that. See, I'm tempted to just like grab the first child, but I'm a little bit worried that that won't work. Or it won't work for every use case because some might have multiple, or it might not be the first child. So I'm going to see if there's like a built-in way of doing this. Because the thing about the area node is that it automatically like detects if there's a collision shape among the child objects. So I'm assuming there's got to be some sort of functionality for that that I can use through scripting. 5 area node get. Doesn't look like there is. Yeah, I don't think it's an option. I'll keep searching for a little bit though. Okay. Looks like there's no functionality for it, so I'll have to make it. I'll have to make the functionality. Shouldn't be too hard. Although I feel like I'm making redundant code because there's got to be some sort of way of enabling and disabling or checking the enabled or disabled status of the collision. No, I would have seen it in the. It would have been in the doc. It would have been in the documentation. Okay, maybe in the back end it's there, like the C sharp. I mean C plus plus stuff that I can't access, but yeah, I can't use it, so I have to implement it myself. Collections dot a collision shape. If child is given shape. Add child as does this work in C#? I think it should work. You know what? I'm just going to assume that there's only one. Uh, okay, so I can do that. Child as and okay. Have it. Shape enabled last frame. False. Oh, of course. Can't forget that. Shape enabled last frame equals. Maybe I should say disabled. Oops. What I meant to do. If even shape disabled last frame and shape disabled. So it was disabled last frame, but it is no longer disabled this frame, then it's blocked equals false. I think that should work. I feel like it's not a very good solution, but I think it could work. Hmm. Sorry, I touched the microphone there. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, on block. And I think over here, instead of emitting a signal, I should just do LOK. Well, actually, I should call it blocked because the damage collider isn't the one doing the blocking, it's the one being blocked. You wouldn't think that this is important, but when I inevitably come back to this in like a few years and need to change something, the accuracy of the exact wording is, well, it's very important to avoid confusing myself in the future. I don't want to have to stare at it for like 20 minutes to try to remember how it works. Like ideally, like I believe that that code is best when you can look at something and tell what it does purely because it's of what it says instead of relying on comments. Like that is kind of what my goal is. That's why some of my variables have really long names. Like this one. Collision shape disabled last frame. If it was disabled if it was disabled last frame and it isn't disabled, then it's no longer blocked. Then unblock it. And then last thing that happens during physics process for this damage collider is make it so that this value is not equal to whatever this value is. I think that makes sense. Okay. And now I need to implement this into the system. Oh, and I need to add a collider to this. I think I'm going to make it slightly, or actually probably a lot chunkier than the actual shield. Collision shape. Let's make it somewhat thick, I think. Let's make it quite large compared to the actual model. Maybe push it out a little bit. And I need to make this a body collider, so I'm going to attach. Easy way to do this. Quick load, body collider. And then set the master health system. Get vulnerable to. Oh, let's build. Is shield is true. Let's make it so that let's just make it so it can block everything for now. Huh? Wait a minute. Wait a second. What is? Oh. That was kind of dumb. I never assigned a shape to the collision shape. That could have caused me a lot of unnecessary confusion if I hadn't caught that. Let's make it a little thinner. Okay. What next? Now, do I enable and disable this with animation like what I did with the weapons, or do I do this through script? I think doing it through animations is probably easier because I don't want to have to differentiate between different shield objects. So I'm going to go through all of these shield animations and dynamically make sure, or not dynamically, like make it so that there's like a keyframe that controls the disabled this or this basically just as a keyframe. So by default, in the reset track, there it is. Armature skeleton held item L. Disabled by default. It's true. And I think that somewhere in here there is a node that applies these reset parameters. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is, in all honesty. Okay, let's add it to the thing. Using shield down. Disabled is false. wonder if the shield collision collider is a bit too small. Okay, that should be good. I'm not too particular about the size and shape of the colliders. Okay, I don't fully expect this to work right away. Oh, but I need to put an enemy in the scene to actually like test this. I'm just gonna for now I'm just gonna trust that the reset animation, or at the very least the animation that like redisables it is applying it when the one shot animations, or when these oh wait, hold on a second. I almost forgot. Where is it? There. And there. I wonder if there's a... I could probably test this in the editor, actually. Oh. No, I can't. Oh, actually I can. It's not disabled now. But if I go back here and do this, and then go back to it, it is disabled now. And you could also kind of tell through the subtle color of the collider. It's blue when it's enabled, and white when it's... Hey, what? It's not working. I beg your pardon. Oh, I see what's going on. I need to give it a duration, I think. No. Ah, what the heck. I'll just test it, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't work, I'll fix it next stream. Okay. Yeah, it's 6 o'clock for me right now, so I'm gonna quit soon. But I just want to test it before I quit for the day. Plant enemy. This is... Okay. There it is. What? Oh, ho, 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 ho. I accidentally set it as a child object of the player. That's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's amusing. It's not that funny. It's kind of cringe, I guess. Okay, I took damage. Took damage again. Raise shield. Huh? Wait, what's printing these? What's going on? I still want to test it. I still want to test it. I have a feeling that it's not. I have a feeling that it wasn't working, but I couldn't see the console. I'm also not sure what's printing these. Something related to health, though, I'm pretty sure. At least I think it is. What is printing these? What's going on? Is it the UI? No. What is going on here? Max health display. It's CS. Okay, this has got to be it. Where is that script? It's got to be in the UI, I think. Oh, yeah, oh, it is. Why didn't I label this? Yeah, there it is. Crazy. Must have been age. Yeah, it must have been ages since I wrote that. Okay. Let's actually try testing it, I guess. I think it wasn't working actually. I didn't see the word blocked in any of the text. So to help debug, I will okay. Let's see what comes in what shows up in the console. This time, make it just big enough to read the text. Oh, see that this isn't working anymore. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, just gonna test it one more time. Find out what's going on. Then I guess tomorrow I'll try looking on and fixing it. Hmm. Okay. This makes sense to have these at the start. All right. It's not working yet, but I think I laid the groundwork. For now, I'm just gonna, well, I hope you had a good day watching this. Hope it wasn't too boring.